Bands like Breaking Benjamin, Shinedown, and Seether are massively popular, and yet when was the last time that you heard any kind of critic or influencer in the rock media space even acknowledge that they exist, let alone say anything good about them? See any popular rock artists pushing the boundaries? And I mean popular in the sense of anywhere close to the mainstream. And in fact, if anything, I would say that rock has gotten less interesting in the past 3 or 4 years. What's up everybody, I'm Finn McKenty, this is the Punk Rock MBA, and today I wanted to talk about kind of the elephant in the room that nobody really wants to admit, but is kind of obvious to everybody who's paying attention, which is that rock is dying.
What's up rockers and metalheads all across the freaking world? I'm doing a special episode to talk about the love of my life, rock music, and how it's not dead, and how it's still alive, and how it's still kicking, and how every corner of the world has rock in it. And it is not dying, and it's not going anywhere. And this episode is dedicated to you, rock. Now I'm going to start off right off the bat. This is not a bashing thing whatsoever, but I need to address points on how rock is not dead.
It's alive! It's alive!
People like Mr. Punk Rock MBA always do videos, a lot of videos negatively talking about rock is dying. People like Machine Gun Kelly and Post Malone, you know, they're the new pioneers of rock and saving rock music, and it's not mainstream and young people don't listen to it anymore and stuff like that. And that's completely not true. So I'm going to provide points on how rock is still fucking alive, and it's more important now than ever and will stay important. So I'm going to go into 4 points on about the rock music and how it's not dead and what's still alive. I'm going to talk about festivals, because that's the blood and meat and bones of rock fans, is going to festivals. That's where our community at. Besides concerts, we live and die by festivals. That's our stomping grounds. Then I'm gonna talk about the fans. You know, rock fans are the most die-hard music fans, bar none. And you go to any other festival, Coachella and stuff like that, the crowd is not the same as rock fans.
Olivia, who paid for your Coachella ticket?
My daddy.
Why?
Then I'm going to talk about Billboard charts and how rock really, yes, rock is not on the charts, but it's never been chart music, and I'm going to talk about that. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about 2020. It's been a crazy fucking year. COVID changed everything, but that also gave us a lot of music, and a lot of our favorite artists collaborated together with other musicians, and they put out music and were writing and doing live shows. This was still a huge year for music, even though concerts were stopped. But those are 4 points I'm going to dive into. All right, so let's talk about the festival circuit. I'm going to do US festivals, and then I'm going to do European festivals, because those two are different worlds and gnarly different worlds. First, let's talk about the US festival scene. It is huge, and bands make their tour dates based off festivals. You know, when they're on festivals, they're also doing small shows. On top of that, they follow the festivals as a circuit. You know, Danny Wimmer did a huge thing when, unfortunately it didn't happen, but when he secured Metallica for all his festivals as a headliner for 2 headlining nights, that is unheard of, and that was massive for rock fans. Hopefully we can get that when they can bring festivals back, but that was huge. But some of the large festivals that do happen in the US right now, you got Aftershock, Epicenter, Welcome to Rockville, Rocklahoma, Sonic Temple, used to be obviously Rock on the Range, Louder Than Life, Blue Ridge Rock Festival, Incarceration, Los Rages, just to name a few. I myself last year went to a crap load. I went to Welcome to Rockville, I went to Rocklahoma, Louder Than Life, Aftershock. I think that's all of them I went to. That was a lot. That was a lot of traveling, but it was amazing. And to see the rock fans and the music, how it spread in all the different communities, was huge. I want to talk about now the attendance that was there, because these numbers are still crazy. This was what's huge about it. Aftershock had 97,000, well 97,500,000, but just over 97,000 fans there. Epicenter, 90,000. Welcome to Rockville, almost 100,000 people in that weekend. That's crazy. Louder Than Life, 128,000 people. I was a part of that. That was huge. That was a big weekend for rock music. These numbers are not bullshit, and rock fans show up and they're there for the entire weekend. You know, festivals like Coachella, Stagecoach, EDC, stuff like that, Beyond Wonderland and all that stuff, they happen once a year. That's cool, but rock festivals are all year. They're spread out throughout the year, and fans travel for that. And there's also cross fans. There's multiple people listen to a lot of music, and they still go to these festivals as well. But the point is, rock music is all year round, and it's not just one time a year. And it's a lot more affordable. You know, for the most part, I think Aftershock in the US is the most expensive rock festival out here. It can get pretty dicey, but everything else is relatively affordable. And now, especially with the layaway plans and stuff like that. But it's more accessible for rock fan music. Now let's dive into the European circuit, because that is a monster itself. That is next level. That's what American bands want to get on, because traveling the European circuit for festivals is crazy. That is next level stuff. And so I'm just going to dive into just a highlight. There's a lot of them out there, and I'm just going to name some of the big ones. You got Download Festival, Rock in Park and Rock in Ring, Hellfest, Copenhagen, Slam Dunk Fest. There's a lot, and those are some of the big titans out there. Download Festival had 80,000 people. Rock in Park and Rock in Ring combined, 150,000 people. Hellfest, over 50,000 people. Copenhagen, over 28,000 people. These are huge numbers, and these festivals are crazy. I've been to Rock in Park only once, and I didn't even go for the full weekend. It was just one day, and headlining that day was System of a Down, Avenged Sevenfold, Volbeat. It was crazy. You know, it was one stadium, and it was just thousands of people for one stage. It was craziness. It's next level, and to see all those fans there, it shows you how much love there is for rock music. Now I want to dive into the blood, meat, and bones of what rock music is, the rock genre is, and it's its fans. We're the most die-hard, loyal fans out there, ride or die with our music. And yes, we do listen to other styles as well. There's always cross stuff going on. I like hip-hop, I do like some country, folk style music, whatnot, but rock fans are still the most die-hard out of everything out there. And like last year when I traveled all over the states, countries, everything, the fans, everyone's so welcoming. You can wear whatever band shirt you want to, and people are like, oh, dude, that's awesome. Were you seeing him here? I saw him at this show. And just an instant click. You know, when I went to Welcome to Rockville, each day I made a new group of friends and partying with them and whatnot. It was awesome. Dallas, when I went to go see Hell Yeah, a random group of guys, we were partying it up, and it was just a great camaraderie. Rocklahoma, I was partying with a group of officers who came down from Kansas City because they wanted to go see Korn and Shinedown and stuff like that. They were awesome, totally friendly. We tailgated right before and after. Such great. I met one of my best friends in the world to go see Metallica and Avenged Sevenfold in Minneapolis when they were opening the new US Bank Stadium. We're still best travel buddies now. This is what the rock music does. It brings people together. And the age group is so broad. Such a broad age group, from young to old. A big mixture. When I was in Rockville, we were partying with a group of girls, and they were just 21-year-olds who love Korn, young girls who just love to go watch Korn. They were one of their favorite bands, and also the Interrupters, a nice ska punk band. But the age group is so different, and you see families bringing their kids. It's also a family environment. They bring in their kids on their shoulders. You see them wearing little headphones and whatnot cover their ears. That's the next generation rockers, and that's not going to die. It's going to be a rolling effect for years to come. People like Mr. Finn McKinney talking about, how young people don't listen to rock music at all. That's not true. If you take it to the Instagram on this new reel stuff they got going on, look at the young guitar shredders and musicians out there playing. They're still listening to Iron Maiden, Papa Roach, Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, everything, and they're still shredding and getting guitars. It's making it more versatile now for people to play, the more ergonomical way and affordable guitars for people to play with plugins and digital amps without having to buy a huge amp in your room. It's more affordable now to be a musician than ever, and you're having young kids start off now because they want to, or their parents are getting them into the music. The young kids are still listening to, I don't know what group he's looking at, but the next generation rockers are going to be great musicians. All right, now I'm going to dive into my third point and key, huge point, is the Billboard charts. Because he's even brought it up how rock is not prevalent on billboards. And he's right. He's completely right. But rock has never been about the Billboard charts.
And it's aggressive and it's rebellious and their parents hate it, which has always been the mark of good rock and roll. If your parents don't like it, it's good.
Rock music has never been about being mainstream listened to. That's never it's been go-to. Rock is a whole different style. It's an expression of someone else, like their inner feelings and thoughts, and projecting it out to what they really want.
Like that spine-chilling feeling, that goosebumps up the spine, you know, that you really got me. Da, 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 da. It's like an orgasm, you know.
Rock has never been about that. It's never been about mainstream. It's always about being different. It's about being what you want. It's about the artists putting out the music they want. Not necessarily about success if it came with it. Yeah, cool, awesome. But it's about what they want to play and what they want to put out. So I want to like do a quick time hop. Let's say let's go back, I don't know, let's go back 20 years ago, 2000. Let's look at the Billboard top charts for 2000. All right, so let's take a look at what the top charts were back in 2000, all right, 2 decades ago. At number 1, you have Faith Hill with Breathe. Number 2, Smooth, Santana featuring Rob Thomas, which I'm not gonna hate. Come on, who doesn't love that song? And I gotta give it to my buddy Jake, who's a bassist in Them Evils, and he got it tattooed on his calf. Crazy dude, but you know what? That song's pretty bitchin'. Then you have I Want to Know from Joe, Vertical Horizon, Destiny's Child, Say My Name, Savage Garden, Matchbox 20 again with Bent, Tony Braxton, Creed. Hey, everyone slapped with Creed back then. No shame. Alaya, Destiny's Child, Cisco, Thong Song, Three Doors Down, Pink, Madonna. But that's some of the top 20 right there. And for that music though, honestly, let's be real. Most of the people don't listen to those songs. Let's be real. The Thong Song, we just all bring up the Thong Song from Cisco as a joke. I'm like, oh, remember the Thong Song? I mean, come on. When you hear any Destiny's Child now, it's gonna be like in the grocery store, or Smooth, Santana Smooth. I hear it in the grocery store all the time. Is some young kid listening to that right now? Destiny's Child, yeah, come on, it's Destiny's Child. But who's listening to Joe right now? Honestly, that's the be real thing. And obviously there's no big rock artist besides Three Doors Down and Creed, because they were the kind of the mainstream rock stuff back there. But no hard rock artists are on there whatsoever. So let's take a look at the hard rock releases of 2000. You know, the millennium was a huge turning point for rock music. That was a huge release year. A lot of classic albums were dropped. Godsmacked Awake, Disturbed, Down with the Sickness, Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park. Iconic albums, Offspring, Green Day, Marilyn Manson, Deftones, White Pony, Newfound Glory, AFI. These were all huge albums that were dropped that year. And you know what? They're still being played and listened to now. Everyone's still rotating them on radios. Everyone's still playing them on their workout music or in their car. You know why? Because they're classic, iconic albums that are going to be played for years to come. All right. Now let's look at a previous year. All right. Let's look at another one. Let's look at 99. Let's go right before the millennium. All right. In 99, you had Stained, Creed, which I don't care what you say. That Creed album was freaking dope. I listened to Higher. I don't care. Titan AE was a sick movie and that was a dope soundtrack. 9 Inch Nails, Incubus, Blink-182, Rage Against the Machine. These are all, again, huge iconic albums, and you know what? They're still playing that now. They're still getting rotated. You know, Turbo on Sirius XM, they're still being rotated. And back in 99, the top Billboard 100, they weren't on it. None of those songs were on it. You had Monica, Faith Evans, Britney Spears, Cher, Christina Aguilera, Smash Mouth. Like, those were the top singles back then. And you know what? They're not relevant right now. Britney Spears is definitely not relevant in the music industry. I'm not bashing on her, but I'm saying she's not relevant. But this music that was released in 99 is still being played. So yeah, it may not be popular. It's never going to be popular on the mainstream chart, but rock music has longevity. It's still playing 10, 20, 15, 30, 100 years from now. You know, shit, we're still listening to Black Sabbath. We're still listening to Megadeth. There's a reason why we're still listening to it. But are we listening to the pop hits back from the 70s? I don't know anybody who really is. I really don't know, besides maybe my grandparents. Not my dad, he was listening to heavy metal. But all those rock albums, those classic iconic albums, Iron Maiden, Scorpions, Motley Crue, all that stuff, Leonard Skinner, there's a reason why they're still being played now, but none of those pop hits are being relevant, right? Relevant back then. Heck no. Rock music has longevity, and that's the point I'm making at. It's never going to be on the Billboard chart, but it's going to be lasting from years to come.
Everybody shout, heavy metal's back, down to all but metal.
Now my fourth and final point about the rock music and how it's not dead and still alive. 2020. This year was fucking crazy. COVID-19 took over the world everywhere. We were all affected. But the music industry took a huge hit. It did. But rock bands and artists and everything pivoted really well. Everybody went to live streams, connecting with their fans, Q&As, more merchandise, and the best thing that happened, new music, new collaborations like Jared Dimes and Howard Jones putting a new album out together. Who knows if that would happen if there was no COVID-19, you know? Yes, it still sucked, but we got a positive. We're looking at the positive here. A lot of new music that came out, a lot of collaborations happened, a lot of live streams happened. The Behemoth live stream was pretty awesome. I don't know if there's ever going to be a live show that's just as intense as that was, but a lot of positive came out from that. The releases this year alone: Venom Prison, Smashing Pumpkins coming out with a new album on Sumerian Records. Go figure. Plot twist, another plot twist for 2019. Code Orange. Code Orange has been a big, huge radar. That their new album, fucking fire. Then their special live acoustic set that they did in the old like MTV Unplugged fashion, like in memory of like Alice in Chains in those early days. Holy crap, that was amazing. That stripped down performance of them was definitely a huge like pivotal point in their music career. Deftones' new album, Bleed From Within. I think Bleed From Within was probably like a big standout album for me. Fracture, that is a huge album. That is a banger. And definitely I think that's going to be their highest point for music. I think they're going to keep going. All the music's great, but that album is freaking amazing. Tulip, Sepultura, Ozzy Osbourne, Corey Taylor, Them Evils, Make Them Suffer, Asking Alexandria, Marilyn Manson, Upon a Burning Body. There's a lot. So much music has been released this year. So much. And this shows you if rock is dying, why are people putting out music? Why are there new bands? Why are there new artists? Why are there new musicians collaborating together? Why? Because they love the music and there are fans listening to it. People wouldn't make the music if there was no one listening to it. You know, what's the point of it then? But they're still making it because they love it. People make the music because they love their music.
I'm still loving you.
And the fans are there. Everybody's here. This year shows how well rock artists can pivot and what they can do. And let's quickly talk about the rock umbrella, because it's a huge rock umbrella. Rock family is huge. It's not just like heavy metal. That's what rock is. No, rock is a huge umbrella. I mean, you got prog, you have gent, post-core, punk, pop punk, heavy metal, death metal, doom metal, folk. Yes, folk is under the rock genre. Country rock. Like, there's so much. There's the rock family is huge. I mean, come on, new metal, everything. Rap rock, all of it. It's a lot. And of course, fans are crossbreeding between the two because they all listen to it all. Everybody listens to it all. And the rock family is huge. The music genre is huge and it's not going anywhere. Like, he dabbed into talking about, you know, people, Machine Gun Kelly and Post Malone, you know, they're trying to revive rock, bring it back. You know, they're holding the hand for rock. He's looking at the wrong perspective. People like Machine Gun Kelly and Post Malone and stuff like that, you know, they're not doing it as like a helping hand. They're doing it because they grew up with rock music. Post Malone grew up listening to Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, all that classic rock stuff. And I'm stoked on fucking life he was doing an album with them and vice versa. They did songs together. Huge. Machine Gun Kelly, his new album's pretty awesome. I have no shame. It's got a great punk rock vibe to him. I think that's his sound. I think that's his forte, honestly. But you know what musicians helped him with that? Mr. Kevin Thrasher from Escape the Fate on guitar, Travis Barker on drums from Blink-182. He had some pretty awesome musicians behind him on helping it. You know, the lead singer of Goldfinger was also the producer for it.
Here I am, doing everything I can, holding on to what I am, pretending I'm a Superman.
He has his own producing studio for that. He was a part of that. So they're not just like doing it to like as a helping hand for rock music. No, they're doing it because they realize they love rock music, they grew up with it, and they want to experiment in that style and kind of blend with it. That's how you should look at it. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad there's that crossbreed going on because it was awesome. Ozzy Osbourne, Post Malone was pretty dope. Machine Gun Kelly's new album was pretty cool. I like it. I dig it. I blasted this whole time when I was stuck in traffic. And that's what we want. You know, rock is a welcoming community, and we should be welcoming things like that. You know, let new artists experience that, you know, and that's what we are. We're a big family. So I hope I really show and dug down and broke down what rock is about, because we're a family. We're all a family all over the world. During my interview series I've been doing, I'm doing season 4 coming up next week, actually on Saturday. And I've tapped into bands from all over the world: Finland, Norway, Russia, Spain, Madrid, Canary Islands, all over the US, Florida. It's just crazy. The rock music is so much spread out, and we're all interconnected, and we're a big family, and we can talk to each other like that because we appreciate it, and that's what it's about. So rock is never dying. Rock is going to be here way past when I go away. I'm sad I'm not going to see what the rock music's going to be like 100 years from now. What's it going to be like? Are we going to have hologram shows of Black Sabbath from back in the day where you can just watch them in your living room? Who knows? But what I do know is that people are still going to be listening to Metallica. People are still going to be listening from Them Evils. People are still going to be listening to Bleed From Within, Code Orange. Those albums are still going to be played because you know why? They're iconic albums now, and they're going to be iconic albums later. All right? Thank you guys for watching. Again, I'm not bashing anyone. I just want to talk about rock and how it's not dead. All right? Everyone, please stay safe too, and keep those horns up, man, like we always do.